2. We're live.
Welcome to the Middle Ground. I'm your host, Ohio Divided, joined by my co-host, Michigan Metal. For all you South Carolina bred dads out there, I'm here, motherfucker. I'm here sitting in the pocket. Let's get it going. We got a few comments on Shane Beamer more into TikToks than he is on winning games. Bro can't make the college football playoff, and we're going to get into it. And a few of you out there getting a little upset. Aside from that, we got Jeremiah Smith, the money on the line, calling out Michigan, guaranteeing a win in the next 2 years. As a Broward County boy stop sitting on his shit, we're going to get into it. Lastly, Michigan recruiting. Sherrone Moore is going up the list into the top 10 of the recruiting rankings this week, and he just keeps on adding. He just posted they got another one coming. We're going to get into it tonight in this 6th episode. Meadow, what up, my guy?
What up? How's it going? Hope you had a great week, everybody. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. This coming up weekend Friday is the 4th to celebrate independence for the United States against those damn Great Britons, those damn Brits. But yeah, had a good weekend, man. Was at the recording studio for 12 fucking hours on Sunday trying to get this album out the door. But
When's the album dropping?
Probably sometime within the fall. TM. Just been working on it. We have like a catalog of like 60 plus songs right now, so just trying to get everything together. We just got drums done, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get guitars, and then bass, and then last but not least vocals, and then mixing and mastering, which takes some fucking time and a whole bunch of other shit. But yeah, it's a good weekend. Had some fun. What about yourself? How
guys do you do that with?
Who do we do that with?
How many other guys do you do it with?
We're a 4-piece band, so we have 2 guitar players. I'm the rhythm guitar / lead singer, and then we have a lead guitar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're the guy then.
I'm the fucking guy. And then we have a drummer and a bass player who does backup vocals. So it's right now.
Yeah.
It took us about like 4 weeks just to get drums done, because my lead guitarist is a fucking spaz head and can't like stay focused and always wants to be all over the fucking place, especially when we're just trying to like record like scratch tracks and shit. So, but yeah, it's pretty good, dude. It's been
How
fun.
many songs did you say is it going to be in your album? Just 60?
No, I was saying like we have like a catalog of like 60 songs.
Okay.
Just that like we've made over the past like 10 years being together. And this is like the first like album that we're actually doing because we're tired of not being lazy.
Yeah, there you go. That's some cool shit. No, I had a good weekend. I helped out with a little kids baseball tournament all weekend. I spent all weekend at the ballpark. Saturday morning, we walked into a complete fucking downpour. So probably the first 2 or 3 hours, I was basically just playing around in mud, trying to get water off this field and shit.
That's always the best.
Really, really hot this weekend. Hot as fuck. But no, it was a good weekend. I think last night I went to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock after I watched Chase Burns just get absolutely obliterated by your Red Sox. I think he got like 1 out. So I said, fuck this. I am tired as shit. And then I went and got myself like 10 hours of sleep last night. So that was good. Very much needed.
Yeah, I mean.
But hell yeah, dude.
It's good. Sounds like a good weekend besides getting downpour. That fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, the field was pretty fucked. It was completely just drenched in water. We walked in and the entire thing was basically just completely covered in water. So yeah, we had to spend like 2 to 3 hours literally just getting all the shit off. And I mean, there was fucking game after game after game after game. There was like 5 different fields you had to get ready. So
Did you guys,
it was not ideal walking into it, but hey, it's how shit goes sometimes. And we made it happen, and it was a good weekend. So
did you guys end up winning? Like, what was your guys' win-loss record?
I mean, I didn't coach. I'm a high school coach, and our program, I guess you call it, basically put it on to like raise money, and then we donate some money and shit too. So yeah, like I didn't have a team or anything in it, but basically just a way to make money and donate money and that kind of shit. So, no, it was good, though. It was a really good weekend. Had anywhere from 8U, 9U, 10U, 12U, 14U. So there was like 5 divisions. So, yeah, very, very busy, but it was a good weekend for sure.
Any future MLB prospects you see out there?
I don't know. There were a couple kids that were pretty damn good. That's a little young to be deeming them that at this point, but there were
Yeah.
some kids out there that I was pretty impressed with, not gonna lie, especially like in the 12-year-old division. I didn't see much of the 14U. But I mean, when you're in like 8, 9, and 10, they're so young. They're basically just trying to figure out how to pitch and basically play the game. But once you get in like 12, 14-year-old range, I mean, you see a little bit more kids that are further along and that can hit, field, throw, that kind of shit. So
Right.
no, there was definitely some good players out there. Not sure if there's any not sure if we got any MLB players, but we'll see. We'll see.
So maybe some future Red Sox players or Reds players, you know?
Oh, could be. Could
Be a
be. Some
possibility.
days I could use it.
So what
But
about
no, let's get into it.
yeah, let's talk about this guy right here, Shane Beamer.
Oh, did I piss some people off this
I
weekend?
think you did. I think you've been pinching some nerves. Getting some people from
I mean-
Barstool commenting on your post.
Oh, dude, it was fucking wild. I posted the TikTok like Sunday morning, and like I said, I was at that baseball tournament all weekend, and so I fucking posted it. Whatever, didn't really look at it for probably 10 or 12 hours and shit. And next thing I know, I look at it when everything's done, and it's like million views, fucking comments out the ass, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why people are going fucking crazy? I start reading through the comments, just laughing my ass off. All these people are telling me I don't care about a father supporting his daughter. I'm just a douchebag Ohio State fan, which whatever. I do not care. But the fact is, I was not at all implying that Shane Beamer is a horrible father. I mean, he looks like a fantastic father. He looks like a very supportive father to his daughter. He was doing a TikTok with her. I'm sure he is a phenomenal dad. I'm sure he is a great model for his daughter. What I was getting at was your head coach is out here doing TikToks, and you guys haven't even sniffed the college football playoff since it's been a thing in 2014. This year is probably the best chance that they've had since the college football has existed. But Metal, I don't know if you can remember, but do you remember a time where South Carolina was even fucking remotely in the picture?
I think the last time they were was, I just looked it up. In 2011, they went 11-2. 12, they went 11-2, and 13, they went 11-2. That was it.
So basically, right before the college football playoff became a thing, they were decent, and then since then they've been a complete fucking mid. That's what I was getting at. There's a reason Ohio State and Ryan Day are consistently winning. I could have thrown a lot of other schools into the mix, Michigan being one of them, Bama, Georgia. I mean, the list goes on of the teams that are just consistently winning. And my point was, as a joke. A lot of you took this very fucking seriously into heart. My point was, as a joke, your coach is out here making fucking TikToks, can't even sniff the college football playoff. And we got our coaches like Jim Harbaugh, Ryan Day, Kirby Smart, Nick Saban. We're out here making the playoff consistently, 10, 11 win seasons consistently, while y'all are over here making your dumbass TikToks, trying to pop shit off on fucking social media when you should be worrying about winning fucking football games. That was my point. That's what I was trying to get at, and you guys took it to a whole nother level. So it is what it is. As I've said plenty of times, I don't give a fuck. A lot of people came at me. I think somebody replied, like, you guys wanted Ryan Day gone 6 months ago. And I replied back, I didn't. And people started pulling all these screenshots from me jokingly tweeting, fire Ryan Day. And if any of you have followed me for even a day, you know that I tweet a lot of fucking bullshit. And I have been a Ryan Day supporter since day one. There has been a short period of time where I had question about Ryan Day. And Metal, you want to give a guess what day that was?
Let's see. Was it the day that 13-10 happened?
It was the day 13-10 happened. You are correct. Ding, 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 ding. Congratulations. But in my defense, I think even everybody outside of the players and the coaches in that program were thinking, God, what the fuck is going on with this guy? I was definitely not the only one at that point. But the point is, I have been a Ryan Day supporter since day one. There has been an extended period of time where after the Michigan game, I said, now, if you're going to fire Ryan Day, here are your 5 to 6 options. I remember posting this the day after the game. Everybody in Buckeye Country was feeling completely pissed off, completely like, what the fuck is going on? How do you lose to that Michigan team? They are dog shit. And then I ultimately said, you're not getting yourself anywhere getting rid of Ryan Day. And my grading scale was, how do you do in the playoff? How do you respond? He comes in the playoff and waxes the fucking floor. He's a fucking dog. He's a top 3, top 5 coach in the game. And I never once was serious about Ryan Day being fired other than the days after the Michigan game. And I was not alone in that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious at that point. You're 1-4 against Michigan, and this is the year that you're a 23-point favorite at home, and you lose that game. Of course, that everybody's gonna be in their emotions and one Ryan Day's
I'm sure
head
there
on
were
the
some
spike.
players on the team that had doubts.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, in 2019 when Michigan was playing Penn State and Ronnie Bell freaking dropped the ball in the end zone and we lost the game, I was going after Jim Harbaugh saying that, we can't beat ranked teams. We're fucking terrible. Fire him, get Matt Campbell, blah, blah, blah. It's just all like front matter emotion that just happens. It's so traumatic and you're like, when you're not thinking rationally.
Michigan's golden boy, there's been receipts on him being serious. Dave Portnoy being like, Jim Harbaugh is not the guy.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there to an extent. I mean, even Georgia fans were wondering about Kirby until he won back-to-back. Bama fans are worrying about Kalen DeBoer. There's maybe one coach in recent memory that people were like, yeah, he might not be the guy, and that's Nick Saban. And if they were saying that kind of shit, they're just delusional fucking Bama fans that are like, oh, we've gone an entire year without winning a national title. We should probably get rid of Nick Saban. Other than that, I think every single other coach in college football history has gone through a stretch where fans are like, we need to fire this guy. But the thing is, I was not at all. My tweets, it was hilarious. Like they kept posting a screenshot of a tweet where I literally just said fire Ryan Day, and then I tagged one of my friends. And it was literally because me and him always have a running joke about all these people that are fucking idiots in Ohio State country that wanted Ryan Day gone. Because I always knew that Ryan Day was a phenomenal coach. He just needed to get over the hump. He got over that hump. He won the national championship. Now, yes, there is another hump out there, Michigan, that he needs to get over. But I will take a national championship over a win against Michigan any fucking year. Point remains, my Fire Ryan Day comments that these dumb fucks on Twitter were going at me for had absolutely nothing to do with me being serious about Fire Ryan Day. And the video that I posted was solely based on your coach is out making fucking TikToks. Our coach is out here consistently making the playoff and winning a national championship. That was it. And boy, did it blow up.
Do you remember in 2023 during the pregame of Michigan Ohio State where like Kyle McCord and others were like doing TikToks out in the field?
Were they doing TikToks or were they just dancing?
For some reason, I thought it was, maybe I could be misconstrued on this, where it was TikTok dances or like they were in the locker room doing TikToks like throughout the whole season. I remember Kyle McCord doing that dumbass fucking step back fucking jumper. And then I remember Ryan Day in the middle of the pile, like jumping around, like chest bumping a lot of the players. And yeah, that was cringy as fuck. I'm pretty sure I literally said that was cringy as fuck whenever that happened. But I never once said fire Ryan Day. And I do not think that was
TikToks being made. I think the Ohio State social media team probably just posted a fucking video of it, which if you want to call it the same thing, call it the same thing. I don't really care. Ryan Day has a 90% winning percentage. He has a national championship under his belt. Your fucking coach is out here making TikTok after TikTok. I'm sure he's an awesome father. This is not the point. I'm sure he is a phenomenal, supportive father. But it's just funny that your coach is out there making TikToks. Our coach is winning national championships and winning a lot of fucking games.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's a bit of a reach for people to say, like, oh, like, what, you just don't care, like, the father is, like, dancing with their daughter for a TikTok? Like, no, that's a straw man. We're not saying that. Like, nobody's saying that. It's just, like, you can see, like, just the winning persona, like, where, like, Ryan Day and all the other winning coaches, like, just don't partake in that shit.
Like, well, it's like the same it's the same shit. Like, remember when Brian Kelly was grinding on that fucking recruit a couple years ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's just cringy shit, TikTok shit like that, that I'm, like, getting
at. The Halo camera that they had? The revolving camera?
That was cringy as fuck.
Yeah. Like, Lane Kiffin, the same thing. Like, it's basically, like, all these people that are, like, loud and, you know, bright, and making a name for themselves on social media. Like, especially, like, Lane Kiffin. Like, what the fuck have you guys, like, really shown, like, out in the field?
And I called Lane Kiffin out in a tweet afterwards, too. I said, Shane Beamer and Lane Kiffin are out here making fucking TikToks, and they're wondering why their program isn't winning.
Yeah.
I wonder.
It's like the focus isn't there. I mean, I don't see the harm in it, but, like, if I don't see why people would come after you on it. You know,
I really don't care that people come after me. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Does not hurt my feelings one bit. And I'm sure making TikToks has no correlation to winning games. I'm sure it does not matter one bit.
Yeah.
It was solely just a troll. It was solely just a joke. And oh man, the South Carolina folk hate me right now. Good Lord. Never once. And my favorite is how they're like, oh, we're 2-0 against you. Back in like 2000. Okay. Cool. I do not care. If you would have played any of Ohio State's teams in the past 20 fucking years, you would have got fucking wiped off the field just like the Tennessee Volunteers did. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up about your 2-0 record against Ohio State. You've never won a national championship. Ohio State is consistently in the national spotlight. You are not. You finally have a good quarterback this year, and you should be pretty good. But we'll see how it goes. Your coach is out making TikToks. Our coach is winning national champions. End of story.
It's the way she goes, boys.
That's just the way she goes.
SEC wants to hang up on Big Ten country.
SEC, they're getting real horny. Paul Feinbaum comes out and ranks Arch Manning the best starting quarterback since Tim Tebow in 2006. What a take. What a take.
I mean, is it
break it down, my guy?
Is it because so basically Paul Feinbaum was talking about that Archie Manning is in the best position right now and possibly the best quarterback to come out in the starting position since Tim Tebow in 2006, right? I don't see where this information comes from, and especially with like the prospects of like you had, you know, Johnny Manziel, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. You had Deshaun Watson. Who else? You had Andrew Luck as well.
Andrew Luck was in there, yeah.
And then just other like star prospects that were just coming straight out of high school and into college football. Is it the Manning name that he feels that he can say this, or is it the, you know, again, the SEC dick so far down fucking Paul's throat right now because, you know, he's still like a spokesman for the SEC. I just don't get it. I don't understand like how you can say such like a glib and an idiotic statement. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you believe that? He's the best quarterback to ever come out since 2006. Like, bro.
No.
Dude, that's
absolutely
fucking almost 20 years of worth of quarterbacks that we've seen.
The thing is, he might be. Like, he could end up being really, really good this year.
Yeah.
But Arch Manning did nothing but play against Grambling State last year. He didn't beat anybody that was worth a fuck. Like, he didn't ever have to step in and, like, do anything. And I think the one time he did against Georgia, like, he struggled. They took Ewers out, they put him in, and they ultimately went back to Ewers because it wasn't going well. But I think you hit it on the head, Metal. Like, I think it's the Manning name, and then he's got the SEC so far down his dick. Like, or their dick so far down his throat. Sorry. But, yeah, I mean, you could name off Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, Andrew Luck. I mean, we just named off a quick few right there that were 100% better going into the season, not what they did after the fact. Because, like I said, Arch Manning might come out and be, like, #1 overall draft pick, fucking all everything. Like, he might be really good. But there's no evidence telling us that right now. Zero evidence. He's played against nobody. It's just a wild take to say something like this. And he's 100% just glazing the quarterback of the best team in the SEC. That's all he's fucking doing right now. And he's just trying to make headlines because the date is July 1st, and there's nothing to talk about. So I agree with you, Metal. This is a completely fucking insane take. I wouldn't even throw like Joe Burrow into that mix. Not at all. Joe Burrow was not that great his first year at LSU. I mean, nobody was expecting him to be the #1 overall pick at all. I mean, he was probably at tops a 5th or 6th rounder this first year at LSU, and that's at tops. I'm not even sure if he would have even gone that high. But going into the year, I mean, Joe Burrow did more than what Arch Manning did leading up to this season. Insane take. I think he's just glazing the fuck out of the SEC like he likes to do, and he's just salty as fuck that Big Bad Big Ten's starting to step in and kind of run some shit in college football. And the SEC seems to be playing a little bit of catch up right now.
And like Tim Tebow was just a different quarterback too. Like back in 2006 when he first came out, like Tim Tebow is a fucking bull in college. Like he would run people over, and they used him in the QB read option. In frequent plays. Like Urban used him to his like advantage. Like him and like Chris Leak, just like him back to back, where like Tim Tebow would come out there like maybe like on a second down play or like the close like in the red zone like on the 3-yard line, just give Tim Tebow
goal line packages and shit.
Yeah, like goal line packages and stuff. And like Archie's not built like that. I mean, just to say that like this person's gonna be like a Heisman, like a possible Heisman winner. I mean, yes, like there is a possibility that Archie
could be.
Yeah, it could be great. And he can come out there and start slinging the ball down the field. I just don't believe that he's the best quarterback to come out and start since 2006. Like, dude, Trevor Lawrence went unfucking defeated.
Well, let's name it right now. Going into this next season, I bet we could name... I know there's a lot of quarterbacks that left. There's a lot of teams out there. Like, you have, like, your top teams. Like, Ohio State's replacing a quarterback. Michigan's replacing a quarterback. Notre Dame's replacing a quarterback. Georgia's replacing a quarterback. Alabama's replacing a quarterback. So for us to really sit here and say that like there's a plethora of other quarterbacks that are coming out that are way better than him, there's just a lot of schools out there that are just in the situation where they have a new guy that's going to be under center this year. But like I would throw Drew Aller into that mix, like just off what we've seen. Arch Manning might be better. We don't know. But you have to put Drew Aller ahead of him as of right now. Who's the dude? Sam Levitt? Wasn't he the dude at Arizona State?
Yep.
Like, we saw him ball out down the stretch. I would put him above.
Forts up.
Him above Arch Manning.
Forts up.
Yeah. And, I mean, who else? Like, there's definitely some other quarterbacks out there that are probably...
what's his face? Cade Klubnik?
Yeah, Klubnik.
Yeah,
Klubnik, yes.
Yeah, from Clemson.
There's three right there. And, okay, South Carolina fans, I'll give you one here. I'll give you one. See, I'm on your side a little bit. Give me Sellers over him. I saw Sellers ball the fuck out last year. Sellers is a good quarterback.
Yeah,
I put him a bunch of Arch Manning. I put DJ Lagway at Florida above Manning. We've seen these guys perform. Like, you're projecting with this take. You are not at all, like, sitting here being serious that you 100% are certain that Arch Manning is the best quarterback since Tim Tebow 20 years ago to come and start for a college football team. Insane take. We just named 5 right off the bat right there that we know what we're getting and what we're getting from those guys. And the funny part is a few of them are in the SEC, so we could have glazed them.
Yeah, even Garrett Nussmeier. Like, he's like
Garrett Nussmeier, yes.
Most of the list. Like, he's top
quarterback. I think he could come out and have a really good year.
Carson Beck. Same with him.
Carson Beck. He had a down year. I can see where you're a little cold on him. But like, if you want to get into the Carson Beck and Arch Manning debate, I mean, go for it. I don't know who I'd probably take. I really just don't know what Arch Manning is. And again, he could come out and just be really fucking good this year. But to say this on July 1st is absolutely insane.
Sorry, that was my bourbon. Yeah, I mean, Carson Beck is kind of a turnover machine too. Like, he made a lot of mistakes last year with Georgia. But yeah, we don't.
It'll be interesting to see how he bounces back this year.
I mean, he's gonna be in a lesser league, ACC.
That was the first thing I was gonna say. I mean, other than what, Clemson, like
Boston College,
they're probably gonna have a pretty favorable schedule, I would think.
I mean, Florida State, unless they can bounce back and finally become something again.
But even then, like, they won 2 games last year.
Yeah, they were really bad.
And their quarterback, obviously, we've talked about him on past episodes. He's been talking enough shit this offseason. Basically saying they're going to roll in and fucking do whatever they want to Bama and that they're not the same Bama with Nick Saban. Bold words to say coming off you're rolling into a team. You came from Boston College, who sucks fucking dick. You came from Boston College and you're sitting here talking shit to Bama. But even like Florida State, you don't know what the fuck they're going to be.
Yeah, you never know. Who else is in the ACC? I mean, SMU. They're in the ACC.
Are they Big 12?
I think SMU is ACC. I could be wrong. SMU. No, not acceptance rate. Jesus. Yeah, they're in the ACC.
Would you get in?
Yeah, I got in.
Okay, they are in the ACC.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought they were in the Big 12, probably just based on where they're located. But yeah, even SMU, I don't know anything about them. They got their fucking doors cleaned by Penn State. Like, I don't know how good they're going to be. So Miami's probably got a pretty favorable schedule. I mean, they
play Notre Dame.
The competition they're going against is not going to be very good.
They got to play Notre Dame in the first game.
So I would say I'm going to look at their schedule real quick. I'm just going to real quick. Notre Dame, that's a loss. Bethune-Cookman, win. USF, win. Florida,
DJ Lagway.
That'll be a tough one. That's a toss-up.
Florida could be good this year too. That's the thing, like with like these teams that kind of bounce around, like they're just unknown and unpredictable. Like Florida is like an unpredictable team, and then the same thing with kind of who is it? Like Miami can be somewhat like predictable at some points.
But both of those teams at least have quarterbacks that we've seen play before. Like, Beck had a down year last year, but we saw Beck the year before be pretty damn good. So for him to get back to 2 years ago isn't like a wild take.
No, that's not.
So like Florida, we'll call it a loss, 2-2. Florida State win. Louisville win. Stanford win. SMU, that's at SMU. I'm going to call that a win. I just think a Mario Cristobal team is just going to be better than whatever the hell SMU has. Syracuse, I'm going to call that a win. I really like the coach at Syracuse, but obviously replacing Kyle McCord, they have a lot to replace there, but I'm going to count that as a win. NC State, again, they have them at home. I'll count that as a win. Virginia Tech, at Virginia Tech. That's not going to be easy, but I still think that they'll pull it out. And then Pitt. Like, I think 9-10 wins. I think they're going to hit 9-10 wins with losses for sure. Notre Dame's going to beat them. And then maybe Florida. Other than that, your questionables are SMU. Don't know what you're going to get from Syracuse. And then you have the 2 road games with Virginia Tech and Pitt. I don't think Pitt's going to be – I mean, Pitt sucks. But playing at Virginia Tech, that's always a hard atmosphere. But I still see 9 or 10 wins on that schedule.
Do you remember the game last year with Virginia Tech and Miami, where Virginia Tech got absolutely fucking screwed on that Hail Mary play?
Oh yeah, that was the ACC making a call down to the field saying, "Hey, we need Miami in the playoffs. We have a
Oh yeah,
potential Heisman candidate and Cam Ward out here playing." Oh yeah, I remember that very vividly. That
dude,
was crazy. That was one of the crazier calls I've seen.
it was insane. Like here, basically just got handed the win on a silver platter by the ACC. God,
Complete bullshit.
the days that like what I used to miss like watching college football back when I was younger was like Virginia Tech was at least like competent and good. Like when they had Tyrod Taylor, and then the same thing with like Mike Vick and who else was on that team? Cam Chancellor? Yeah, Cam Chancellor was on that team. LOB. Yeah, dude, they were so freaking good back in the day.
Yeah, they've had good teams obviously in the past, and I think if you go there in a night game, obviously they have the whole enter Sandman as they come onto the field. Like that's not an easy place to play by any means. So if that I mean that Miami game is at Virginia Tech. So you don't know what if they put that game at like noon or 3:30, which they won't put it at noon because they're not in the fucking Big Ten. They're not controlled by Fox. But it'll probably be at least a 3:30 game and maybe at night. I could honestly see it being at night just because of the headlines going into it. Miami and Carson Beck go into Virginia Tech. So
Yeah,
that I don't think that's going to be an easy win for them at all.
yeah, it should be interesting to see.
So how about some college football recruiting? Your boys are making a little bit of noise up there in Ann Arbor.
Yes, sir. Got a composite. Well, I think it's a composite 5-star, but 4-star. Carter Meadows over the weekend on Sunday.
He'll end up being a 5-star.
Oh yeah. Which is just another huge win for Michigan, and then getting Clark Jr. Then for you South Carolina fans, if you guys are listening out there, we stole your boy Julian Walker, whose dad I believe is one of the coaches out there in South Carolina, and he committed to Michigan today.
Wait, his dad is a coach at South Carolina University or like a high school coach of a team in South Carolina?
I think his dad has connections with
South Carolina somehow.
Yeah, with South Carolina. He might be a coach. I could be wrong on this, but yeah, he made the commitment today. And basically, D-line coach is cooking, and so is Sharon Moore right now, and Sean McGee.
Yeah, dude, they're getting a lot of traction. I know like 3 weeks ago when we did this, they were like 40th and now they're back top 10. They're utilizing that NIL to their fullest potential. They're doing exactly what they need to do.
Oh yeah, thank you Oracle. Thank you for all this nil funding. It's the name of the game, boys.
I find it funny. There was a lot of Ohio State fans that were kind of crashing out on this weekend, which, like, yeah, losing out to summer recruits. Like, I thought that Meadows kid, it sounded like he was supposed to come to Ohio State as of a couple days ago, but obviously ended up going to Michigan instead. So you guys beat us out for that one. But I think Ohio State fans need to, like, chill the fuck out a little bit. Like, they're still going to add some recruits. They still have a top 5 class. Like, they're going to miss on some recruits here and there. Also, like, I think there's a pretty good theory that I saw out there on Twitter. Like, last year you had a roster to retain. So whenever people say Ohio State bought their roster, they didn't buy fucking shit. They paid that like 90% of that money was to pay players that were on their team the year before to come back and not go to the NFL draft. So it wasn't like they just flipped their roster. Yes, they brought in a few really key guys like Quinshon Judkins. Obviously, Will Howard was a transfer. Caleb Downs, Seth McLaughlin. Like, yeah, they gave those guys some money. They for sure did. I don't know what the value was, but they obviously gave them enough money where they came to Ohio State. But I saw, I think it was Juck on Bucks kind of talking about this. I thought it was a really, really good point. I don't know if you saw this at all, Metal. But basically he was saying, like, to get a high-end high school recruit is going to cost you a lot less in the long run than getting a transfer out of the portal. Because a transfer out of the portal is typically a guy who's proven, typically a guy you're going to have to pay more to get to your school because he's probably getting bags thrown at him from everywhere else. And under this new, like, basically like they're all under a contract with the whole new NIL shit that's out there, you're going to probably have to pay like, so basically the example was if you have a transfer, you pay him $2 million. And if he had $500K left on his old contract, not only are you going to have to pay that $2 million, but you're also going to have to pay whatever his buyout is to get him away from that school. So if you pay him $2 million to come and he's got $500K he was due from his old school, it's actually 2.5 mil you're going to have to pay that kid just to get him.
Jesus.
But the moral of the story is go get the cheap talent, which is the recruits. Go throw your money around at those guys, get them basically locked into a contract, because now with them kind of be under a contract type format, it's going to be a little bit harder for these teams for these kids even to like get out of a contract, go to another school, because for one, they have that buyout there and they're already under contract with the school that they signed with.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the crazy idea, like of just like how the NIL works, and I mean, all these people are, you know, like with, for example, like Bryce Underwood, where people are just like investing, like if this is the case, like $12 million into a quarterback that could be absolutely fucking terrible, you know, and it's a risk. It's a huge risk. Like I totally agree with you on the statement of, you know, these portal players are already proven. They're at schools where, you know, things are just not working out. They feel like they can advance themselves at a different school, a better program, and that's probably what, you know, Will Howard and Judkins thought going into to Ohio State last year in the 2024 season. You know, it's just a huge gamble that schools are taking right now with like just paying these kids like millions upon millions of dollars and just giving out Lamborghinis and Versace and Louis Vuitton shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
and especially with how the new NIL structure is now, where there's 20 million, and that's not just for football. That's across every sport. So if you look at like football, like you got to pay like college basketball as well. So they're getting a decent chunk. Obviously, probably not near as much as what football is obviously getting, but you basically have a pie of money, and you got to separate that pie up. And if another school is willing to give a little bit more a high school recruit to come to their school just because Larry Johnson at Ohio State is only being allocated these amount of funds because they have guys like Chris Henry Jr. coming in. They have another really good receiver that's coming in. Like, those guys are probably taking up a good percentage of that whatever 15 mil, let's just call it, that the football team is getting. The other side of it is I think Michigan is kind of being smart with this, where they're keeping their NIL collectives separate from the whole NIL that's with the school, where Ohio State has looped it all in together, where they kind of have to follow the rules, the laws, the regulations, and where like Michigan and a lot of other schools out there, Michigan is not the only one that's doing this. They're letting this stuff, they're bringing these kids in using kind of this fuck you money from the outside that's able to support some of these kids a little bit more. They're just letting that stuff go to court eventually and just letting an official word come out from the legislation and everything of how they can kind of go about some of these NIL deals and such that are out there. So I don't know, just Ohio State fans, like, yeah, it sucks losing out on a couple of these guys, and I know a few of them DNs. I know that there's some speculation out there, like Larry Johnson is old. Like, he's proven he can develop guys, but I feel like it's been kind of a thing for the last like 5 to 8 years in Buckeye country where like other teams and recruiting are using his age against him. Like, hey, if you go to him, like, you don't know how much longer he's going to be there. Like, yeah, he's a phenomenal coach, but can you bank on him being there in a year, 2 years? Because he is old. Like, he's probably seeing the light at the end of the tunnel right now. So yeah, I mean, a couple bad misses. Not bad, you're just getting beat out. I mean, that's just kind of how recruiting goes. Yeah. Still got a top 5 class. Still got some more guys that they'll probably get. They can still go in and flip some guys. Like, it's okay. We've had consistently top 5 classes for quite a while now. It's been working out well. They've been consistently getting in the playoffs. They're consistently in the national picture. They're coming off a national championship. I think people just need to pump the brakes a little bit and relax.
I mean, I I think like recruiting is like fun and stuff. Like watching, the feed where like we get these players that are 4 stars and 5 stars. And it's like, it brings hype and hope to like the next like following season or like the future of like your school and stuff, right? But there is that possibility where these players could be developed improperly, and then we end up with like 2016 Michigan or 2015 Michigan all the way through like 2019 Michigan. So like developing your players is highly important, and it's incredibly imperative to making sure like these kids succeed on the field, and also acquire the goals that they're supposed to, like while playing defense or offense or special teams or whatever that may take. So
but even then, Michigan's been proven that they can develop guys.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we don't know if, like, I know like Harbaugh was like proven to be able to develop, and I know Morton is proven to develop like offensive line players. The biggest thing is like, can he develop a quarterback? Like, can him and Lindsey develop a quarterback and develop Bryce Howard into the leader that Michigan needs to win a Big Ten championship, make a playoff, and ultimately win a national championship. So that's.
I'm just laughing. You just called him Bryce Howard.
I said Bryce Howard. Oh shit, Bryce.
Yeah, that's funny as shit.
Fucking goddamn.
No, I know what you mean.
Fucking Will Howard.
No, but go back to like
TikTok about us and say, oh god, they called. What do we do for the line? It was Sean.
We called the fucking Michigan GM the Lions GM or some shit, and I was like, do you think I'd give 4 single fucks about Michigan's GM and getting his name right? No, I said the wrong fucking guy. Saw the report was wrong. Whatever. I do not care. I am not that embedded with Michigan and knowing who their GM and shit is.
Yeah, Sean McGee. Like, all right, well. I mean, what was the name that we said? It was
It was the Lions GM, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even know.
It was Brad.
Like I was the one that put that in the show notes, so I'm the one to blame for that. I will 100% stand in the pocket and take the hit for that. But I don't even know who the Lions GM is. Like, I saw something on X and it was clearly wrong because I literally remember reading the tweet and going right into our show notes, typing it in there.
Yeah.
So, whatever. I mean, I don't care. Clip us up. Make a TikTok of it. They did it the last time. I just really do not care.
It happens. It's just criticism. Some people were cool about it. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know Brad Holmes was the GM for Michigan."
Brad Holmes, that was his name. Yeah, that was funny. That was some good shit.
I'm like, fuck. Like, disband our podcast now. We're screwed. We're done. All is done.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Fire. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's just we just have to kind of like put faith into this coaching staff, into developing some some leaders, and hopefully Bryce Underwood is that leader, and hopefully more can develop them into that.
Yeah, but I think it's awesome from both of our perspectives. Like, we're both killing it in recruiting right now. Like, I think that not only are our programs going to be really good for a really long time, but there's going to be some even better matchups that are coming up through the years. There's a lot of talent going up to Ann Arbor, talent in Columbus, coming into Columbus. So it's good for college football. It's good for our teams, and it's awesome for the rivalry.
Divided, let me ask you a question. Do you
Yes,
care about Michigan's recruiting?
I mean, yeah, they're the fucking rival.
Yep.
You have to care.
I've had some people comment on my post saying that it's kind of like little brother energy, that you care about Ohio State's recruiting. Like, well, no shit. Like, it's our fucking rival. Like, why wouldn't
it's
I
the
care?
guys you're going to be playing.
Yeah, like, I want to know who's going to that team. Like, are they going to have good players? Are they going to have bad players? Are they going to have, like, mediocre mid players? Like, I give a fuck.
Yeah, I think a lot of it stems from, like, in the few years past, like, Michigan's recruiting hasn't been that great. Like, it's been, like, decent, but nothing like they're doing right now. But I think a lot of it was, like, you always had a lot of Michigan fans saying, like, we don't really care. We'll take these 3 stars. We'll take these 4 stars that come in and fit our culture and fit what we're looking for. And then like now Michigan's landing these big recruits and they're celebrating it, and then like Ohio State fans get salty about it, especially whenever it's like a guy that they lost out on. So I don't know. I think a little bit of it stems from that just like Michigan fans for a while have always said like they don't care about recruiting, and then now they're showing out in recruiting. So I don't know. Whatever. I mean, you have to care. It's your rival. It's the guys that you're going to be playing and the talent that you're going to be going up against. But Ohio State's been mopping the floor against Michigan, other than this year in recruiting. And then last year, Michigan had a pretty good year as well. But obviously, it hasn't mattered. Like, Michigan's beat Ohio State 4 straight times. Like, recruiting's awesome. Like, it got Ohio State a national championship and whatnot. But head to head, it hasn't really mattered. I know it did for a while for Ohio State fans whenever we were kicking your guys' ass for years and years and years. But I don't think it's really been proven to matter. And I mean, now you guys are recruiting at the national stage. Like, you guys are recruiting up there with the best. So sounds like Sharon Moore tweeted right before we got on here that there's another one coming too. So he's cooking. He's cooking. Michigan's cooking. Hammer's coming though. Hammer's coming.
Hammer's coming.
Hey, I did see something interesting. Not to fucking, I hate this Hammer shit. It's so goddamn annoying. It's annoying as fuck. But people were saying, like, if the Hammer's coming, why are they recruiting so well? I think it was DG posted the year that Ohio State had all their shit going on with, like, the tattoo gate and all that kind of shit. They still had, like, the number 5 recruiting class that year, basically saying, like, just because they're recruiting well doesn't mean that, like, nothing's coming to Michigan. But obviously, I think high school kids don't really care until it, like, actually happens. And like back then, there wasn't a thing called the transfer portal. I mean, there was, but you had all the rules and regulations where you had to sit out a year and hop in and go somewhere else. But I mean, I don't know. Who knows if it really correlates at all? Who knows if it really matters? But I did find that kind of interesting when DG posted that and was like, that is a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think like just because like we're recruiting so well that we're not going to get punished or anything like that, or whatever the outcome of the NCAA sanctions happen to be. And I do agree with you. Like the tattoo gate stuff, like you guys had an awesome recruiting year in 2012, and you guys had a postseason ban.
Yeah.
So it's just not something that correlates, and I don't think it's relative. And it's, I guess, like people can have their hopes. Like maybe it's just a feel good, because I mean it makes me feel good because then it's like, oh, okay, well maybe we're not getting fucked in the ass by the NCAA, but I could be wrong.
I think even if they get a bowl ban, if it's just a 1 year, it really doesn't matter. It's these kids' freshman year. Like they might not even play that much. If it's a multi-year, then yeah, that's
a problem.
That's tougher. But if it's a 1 year, I mean, they're just not going to make the playoff or the postseason their freshman year. And it's like, I still have 2 to 3 more years to play here, compete at a high level, be in the spotlight, get developed, and ultimately go for a national championship. Like, yeah, it sucks. It's one less year. But, like, how many of these guys are, like, you don't see true freshmen very rarely step in and be, like, a huge impact their first year.
Right. I mean, the last time Michigan had a true freshman was Tate Forcier, and then before that was Chad Henne. I mean, Chad Henne was good.
Yeah, he was very good. He was really good.
Hey, he's the reason why the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl in 2021.
Yeah, he came in and kind of fucked the Browns in the ass at the end. Browns got that ass clapped by Chad Henne.
That 4th and 8 run, dude. I was
that was nuts.
So hard. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
When's the last time Ohio State quarterback did that? I'm just kidding.
Hell yeah, I know. I mean, I think if Mahomes never comes out of that game, they continue to just skull fuck the Browns like they were doing at the time. They were beating them pretty handily, but Mahomes went down and Browns kind of made a little bit of a comeback. But hey, Chad Henne said no, I'm calling game.
He did that, I believe, in the next season as well, or the next 2 years. He did that in the postseason, where he had to come in during the AFC Championship or one of the divisional games.
Yeah, Mahomes has been banged up a couple times during the playoffs, but he's always found a way to get back. Like I remember it was probably 2022. He got hurt against the Jags in the divisional round, And then the Bengals were going to play him in the AFC Championship, and there's a lot of speculation if Mahomes was going to play or not, which he toughened up and did, and beat that ass, beat us by 3. So on the last second field goal. So yeah, he's had some kind of history of little things here and there in the playoffs, but he always bounces back. He's a gritty and tough motherfucker, that's for sure.
Yeah, he is tough. Kermit the Frog.
So you got your brain dead of the week.
Oh,
I got
yes.
my brain dead. I already spoke to it though. It's just the entire South Carolina fan base. Thank you, or congratulations for being my brain dead motherfuckers of the week. On to you, Metal. Who's yours? This is a guy you like to pick a little bone with every once in a while.
Yeah, because his disingenuous and uncharitable arguments that he just loves to post. So I saw this luckily through DG because it just shows up on my feed. This man has me blocked, surprisingly.
Does he really? When did that happen?
I posted a video about asking him about Jerry Sandusky and his thoughts on him.
Was that like last week, or that had to have been recently, right?
No, this
is the first you've told me about it.
This was like I think in March or
February. You've been blocked by him for that long?
Oh yeah, he blocked me.
So do you just typically take screenshots of his posts basically, and then just post them? And like, this guy's an idiot?
Yeah. So like, because I'll see it on my feed because I know Anthony follows him and they're like good friends, and then I know Intrinsic follows him, and I know they kind of like communicate with each other. And I know Scoop and Spiro were also good friends. So, like, I'll see it on my feed. And then I'll see, like, shit like this. I'm like, well, I can't fucking comment on it, so I guess I'll just screenshot it and tag him in it. And then there's, like, been a couple of times where he has commented on my stuff, and I can't reply back to him because I'm blocked. And I'm like, all right, well, that's kind of cowardice, I guess. Like, you're just gonna comment on my shit, and you won't let me like have my side of the conversation. Anyways, so just talking about the Sherrone Moore just legacy. I understand that Sherrone hasn't really proven himself. I mean, he has beaten Ohio State twice, one as the acting head coach and one as a full-time head coach. Last year they went 8-5. They played terrible throughout the year. Didn't have a quarterback, had 3 different quarterbacks, Jack Tuttle, Alex Orji, Davis Warren. And then we beat Ohio State, we beat Alabama, and we also beat our other rival, little brother, Michigan State. So I feel like this post is kind of just binary. You're looking at this like through just without context, and you're just saying these things, and it's kind of just bait at this point. I do believe it is a little bit of engagement farming. Like, good for you. Like, you're doing your job and all this stuff. It's just a fucking obtuse, like, binary look when you say, like, they went 7-5 and we're lucky to do that. If Michigan had a quarterback last year, Michigan probably would have made the playoffs. And that being said, losing to Texas was just inevitable. Like, we were going to lose anyways because Wink Martindale was just unable to figure out the college football style defense. But as like the season progressed, and if you actually watch the fucking games, instead of just like you're looking at stats and through the feed of TikTok and Twitter and everything else, like you can actually see that like Michigan had plenty of opportunities throughout the entire fucking season to win those games. I mean, it's not a stretch to say that Michigan should have beaten Oregon because one of the touchdowns got called back, or one of the touchdowns was not a touchdown, and we were driving with them through most of the game where Oregon only had like 50 yards in the third quarter. And to that being said, we just shot ourselves in the fucking foot because Josh Campbell or Kirk Campbell is a fucking idiot and is calling these trick plays and then putting in Alex Orji on third down plays. And then just the same thing with the Illinois game where Tuttle had too many turnovers. Same thing with the Washington game, too many turnovers. And then the Indiana game where we were just putting in Alex Orji for plays to have some like QB options like right through the middle. And it's not obvious at that point. So I think this post is a little shit. If you want to have a conversation about this, you're more than welcome, Justin, to come on the show. And we can talk about this and we can debate all this stuff all you want. And we can basically have a deep and long conversation about, Michigan football. And I would love to, have this conversation about that because you just like you completely missed the point and you goalpost shift every single fucking point. And not even that, like the amount of straw manning that you commit throughout your entire Twitter feed without having any Michigan fans able to just like object this is kind of fucking sad, dude. Like you're kind of like a fucking small person if you just like block everybody and you just allow no opposition at all. So that's my piece on that. Yeah, Justin, if you're out there, if you are listening to this, you're probably fucking not. Don't care. If you want to come on the show, we can have a conversation about this. And we can talk about, your little post that you got going on here, bud.
Yeah, I don't really engage with him much. I read some of his stuff to an extent, but typically it is some engagement farming bullshit. But blocking people is the biggest bitch energy thing you could ever do. Like, I don't know if I even have a single person blocked. Like, it's just, and come at me if I do. I really don't care. I'm sure I probably blocked somebody at some point in time, just being annoying as fuck. But I really do not block people.
Yeah.
And like even all the South Carolina idiots that have been in my mentions the past few days, like I'm not blocking you. Like I don't care. Like it's just fucking fan to fan banter. Like you're gonna post dumb shit, I'm gonna post dumb shit. Don't be a bitch and block people. Like that's just bitch energy. And like I said, I don't really get into his stuff. I don't really read it. I did see one of your posts about him the other day where you asked Grok, I think, the AI feature on X, about Justin Spiro or something about his account. And you said something like Ohio State content or Ohio State popped up, which is wild when you're a Michigan State fan. But yeah, I mean, don't block people. You're a bitch if you do.
Yeah, he just constantly talks about Urban Meyer and Ryan Day. I'm like, dude, I have Michigan State fans on this app that talk to me about Justin Spiro, and they say that he is a Benedict Arnold, which I got that idea of. I'm like, okay, well, I'm start calling him Justin Benedict Arnold because he says he's a Michigan State fan, but then like secretly, just with the amount of like posts and analytics of like X engagement, all he does is talk about Ohio State, and then he just talks about Michigan in favor of Ohio State. So, and like just with like last year with like the Sawyer holding the blatant miss holding call, where Khalil Mullins had the 3rd and 6 run and ran it for 20 yards and got tackled by Caleb Downs. So I'm like, dude, like I mean I understand like being mutual and kind of being objective. And being neutral on things, like the way that I kind of like take, and same with you, like the middle ground. But it is fucking clear as day that you are a huge disguised Ohio State fan, or disguised Michigan fan, or Michigan State fan, or disguised Ohio State fan when you're just you're trying to say that you're a Michigan State fan. Like I don't understand it. But I mean, good for you.
Do you think he's actually an Ohio State fan, or do you think that he is a Michigan State fan, but they really just can't say anything because they're Michigan State and haven't really won much?
I think he did make a post about that where like someone, just the amount of people that have called him out on that, where like he just has nothing to say positive about Michigan State, which I can understand that. I mean, this obviously like works for him, like to talk about Ohio State, and then this gets Ohio State fans, on his side, because like you're kind of like Ohio State and Michigan State are not really a thing. It's not really like a rival. It's just like a game on the schedule at this point, because the last time that fucking Michigan State beat Ohio State was 2015 with that field
blocked field goal.
Yeah, the blocked field goal. No, it was just the field goal. Or was it? Yeah, it was just a field goal.
Where it was a field goal, yeah.
And like the dude was like running around like spinning his arms and stuff like a rodeo.
Or no, Michigan State made a field goal at the end. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking of Penn State blocked a field goal back like around that same 2016. I think it might have been. I think it was a year after that.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously works for him because like he's creating like allegiance, alliance with Ohio State fans, and like what's in common between like Ohio State fans and like Michigan State fans? They fucking hate Ohio, or they hate Michigan. So you're gonna get these two forces come together and just talk about like how much they hate Michigan and they loathe it and all this stuff. Like, oh, you know what, good for you. I really don't care. It's just funny to see like other Michigan State fans just like talk about him like they want nothing to do with him, and like he's a terrible representation for like for Michigan State.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck Spiro. He definitely tries to play both ends of the road, but is what it is. So your Red Sox, they put a little bit of a beat down on my Reds last night. You guys got to Chase Burns a little bit. Sad.
Was it 7 runs or 7 or 8 runs in the first and the bottom of the first? Right.
I think they scored 6 off of him, and he only got
like
one out, I think.
Yeah, they were cooking him. They were definitely.
I think he was really ramped up. You obviously saw some of the stuff on Twitter just about how he was really tipping pitches, and I think there was a lot to that. There was clearly a much higher leg kick, which MLB players are going to pick that out if you're doing that. Whenever he was throwing a fastball, he would have a higher leg kick than whenever he was throwing a changeup or a slider. I'm not worried at the slightest. They'll get it fixed. He was phenomenal against the Yankees. He's fucking 22 years old, making his second start. And one thing I pointed out on X last night is how many guys can say that their first 2 starts were against the Yankees and the Red Sox, not to mention being only 22 years old. Like, this is going to happen with a young kid. I honestly didn't have much faith going into the game to begin with facing Crochet and just the Reds' struggles and what they have against left-handed pitching and whatnot. I know I went to bed, like I said earlier in the episode. I know they kind of came back a little bit at the end. I mean, they think the final was like 13-6 or whatever. I think it got to 8-5 as close as what it was.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we're going to blow
but they battled a little bit, which I think was good to see. But I just was looking up there on the screen. That double play ball to McLean, I think really fucked them hard. Routine ground ball. I think it was Roman Anthony's. He bat 2-hole.
Yeah, he was fucking coming up yesterday. He had 2. Yeah. He was doing
But
great.
he had that routine ground ball double play, the second batter of the game.
Yeah.
And overthrew Elliott second base, and it was like tailor-made double play. Like, it was a for sure double play, but just overthrew Elliott second base, and from there, guys just kept hitting rocket after rocket after rocket on Burns, and didn't only made it through 1 out. So I don't know. It is what it is. It sounds like tonight's game got suspended in the 4th inning with the Sox up 2-1. So I think they're gonna resume that tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, which is a really good thing for you guys because the Reds are horrible during weekday day games. I'm not sure why, but they are. So
tomorrow's the devil.
Hopefully they can find a way to come back and get a win. And if they don't get a win, you got to avoid the sweep. Dude, fun fact: the Reds are the only team in baseball that haven't been swept yet this year, which is insane.
The craziest thing about yesterday too was where Wilyer Abreu had basically in the park home run, to where like
I wasn't even awake for that.
So
you said something to me before the show, and I was like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
So in deep center, it's like 420. And basically
it's kind of like it's long out there.
Oh yeah, it's like there's this like triangle spot to where like it hit a pole and it fucking deflected into left field. And then I think it was a left fielder that slipped, and the ball was basically just like rolling for like another 20 feet, and he was already like rounding second at that point, and they basically told him to go home, and that was it.
Damn.
I was like, holy shit.
I didn't even know that happened. You were the one that broke that to me. They said I was asleep at that point. After that first inning, I was like, well, f this. I got very little sleep this weekend. I'm heading to bed. I'm not watching this shit.
A bunch of Yankees fans on Twitter were talking about like how like like, oh, how can you even like get a like in the park home run and like in Fenway? Like, well, dude, it's 420 feet, which in all 30 fucking ballparks in MLB, that is a home run. Like, that's a
That's
fucking
got to
home
be the
run.
furthest.
Yeah, it's a fucking.
Is
Home
it the
run.
furthest for sure?
I don't know. I think it is, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I think like the Red Stadium center field's 404, so that's a home run by 15 feet.
Oh yeah.
But no, I mean, the Reds, they had a pretty good weekend. They took 2 or 3 against the Padres, who was ahead of them for the wild spot. So that was awesome to see. They had a lead on Saturday that they blew late in the game. That kind of sucked, or they probably would have swept the Padres. Ellie had her huge hit in the 7th inning, I believe, to tie the game. And then later, I think it was 2-1. The Reds, Spencer Steer, I think it was, stepped up and had another huge base hit to tie the game. And then Will Benson walked it off to take 2 or 3 against the Padres. So in baseball, your thing is win series. I mean, to expect a team to win every game and sweep is obviously not even fucking like remotely possible. It's not even like a normal expectation for a team. But yeah, they've been stacking some series wins, but their backs are up against the wall right now in Boston, and they need to either find a way to win that one tomorrow. If they do lose it, I mean, you can't get swept. Getting swept hurts bad whenever you're at this point in the season fighting for playoff spot. But I mean, there's plenty of baseball to go. The Reds have been playing really good. I think they've won 6 of their last 7 series. Just playing some really good ball. Tito's got the guys playing really well right now, so hopefully they can keep it up and bounce back here against the Sox.
Well, the Red Sox lost to the Toronto Blue Jays, which fuck the Blue Jays, fuck George Springer, fuck Bo Bichette, fuck Vladdy Guerrero Jr., fuck Toronto, all of them, and basically lost the series 1-2. First game just got absolutely fucking smacked 9-0, and the next game coming out fucking swinging bats. I think had over 13 runs. And then
they won game 2 then this weekend.
Yeah, they won game 2, and then game 3 we lost. So we haven't won a series since the Mariners.
The part that sucks against the Red Sox is our 2 best pitchers just pitched Saturday and Sunday. God damn it, why am I blanking? Andrew Abbott and Nick Lodolo. Our best pitchers, Hunter Green, which is obviously hurt, but those 2 are probably our 1 and 2 right now. He's hurt. So the Sox are definitely facing the bottom end of our pitching staff with Burns, which obviously I had pretty high expectations going in for him yesterday, but I'm not at all surprised that he had kind of a little bit of a blow-up game. But then tonight, facing Brady Singer, which I wasn't watching the game at all, but they got out to a 2-1 lead. And then I think, what's his face? Why am I blanking on all these Reds players right now? God, like I know them all off the top of my head. The dude who damn near threw the no-hitter Friday night. Nick Martinez. God, why did I not remember that? But yeah, that was, I don't know if you saw that. Did you see Nick Martinez had a no-hitter going into the...
No, I was, I didn't, I want to catch like a little bit of like the Red Sox game on Friday. Okay. So he threw a new no-hitter?
He had a no-hitter going through the 8th, and then I don't know if he got 1 out in the 9th, but basically a guy hit a shot out to left field. It was probably a catchable ball. Like the guy that, I don't even know who the guy was. His nickname was like Vlade or something. They just picked him up from the Cardinals. Like nobody knew who the fuck he was. Like even the next day on Twitter, everybody's like, who the hell is this guy? But I think he was, like he was, it was his first time playing a Great American Ballpark. So he probably didn't want to like go and completely fuck up. So he kind of pulled back on the ball and played it off the wall. But I mean, when you're up, I mean, they were fucking killing him. It was like 9-0 or something, 8-0 at that point. Like, dude, just go try to catch that ball. Save the no-hitter. I don't know. I'm not going to bitch. They won.
I mean, at least you guys.
But yeah, Spencer Steer also hit 3 home runs on Friday night. So you had a guy almost.
He's coming around too, right? Like
pretty cool.
Getting off his little slump.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he hit, I think, over 500 this past week. Had some really clutch hits. He had one against the Yankees on Tuesday night when I was there to tie the game late in extras. And then he had another tying hit on Sunday to tie the game at 2. So yeah, he got NL Player of the Week. Hit at least 3 bombs. Obviously, he hit 3 in one game. But I think he had over a 500 average this past week. He had kind of a shoulder injury coming into the year. Got a late start spring training. He looked bad in April and May. But
Yeah.
he's starting to come around a little bit. So maybe he's getting a little more healthy, and that'd be huge. Get him playing a little bit better. McLean has also been hitting the ball a lot better. The past this month as well. I think his average this month is right around 285, 290. So 2 guys that they're really going to need to perform that are starting to hit the ball a lot better. So really good to see.
So it must be nice to watch at least your baseball team to be somewhat above mid.
Yeah, they were very mid there for a while, but like I said, they've won 6 of 7. Things have been going on. So they just got to keep it up. Just keep stacking series wins. That's all I said. Stack series wins. If you're not going to win the series, do not get swept.
Hey, at least before
That's the formula.
break, you guys got to play the Phillies, which I think it was like 22 innings. They didn't have a run, the Phillies. Or 23 innings.
Last week when we talked, they had 4 series: Yankees, Padres, Red Sox, and Phillies. I said if they can go 6-6 within that stretch, and then they have 4 against the Marlins and 3 against the Rockies, and take 5 of that stretch, they would go into the All-Star break with I think like a 45-38 record, which I will take that any day of the week. 7 games over 500, and I mean they've won 4 out of 7 so far this stretch. So just get me 2 more wins over the course of the next 5 games, and I'll call that a success. Anything over that, you go 7-5 against 4 really good teams. 6-6 is where I'd like them to at least be. I'd feel really good about that. But the Marlins are playing really good baseball right now too, so that 4-game stretch isn't going to be easy by any means.
Your guys' like last half of after the All-Star break, like you guys got to play the Mets, then the Nationals, then the Rays, then the Dodgers, and then the Braves. That's a tough those are tough series right there.
Yeah, they've got a tough stretch that's coming up, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Just get me to the deadline get me to the All-Star break with kind of what I would said. And I've been screaming this. You got to get some kind of hitting help, and I think they need to get some help as well. So I want to see the front office operate like they want to win. They don't always do that, but I want to see them operate like they want to win. So we'll see what they do, though. I'm excited. It's a good time to be a Reds fan, but they still have half the season to go. So it can either go up, it could go down, they could stay right at fucking 500 like they seem to have all year. But yeah, we'll see. It's fun. It's fun though. It's fun.
It's fun. It's always fun.
Always
fun.
Not
make the playoffs this year, like possibly for the Red Sox too.
I mean, we're not in right now either, so we'll see. So my boy, number 4, kind of popping his shit a little bit about Michigan.
Who's this guy?
Jeremiah Sith said, I didn't want to go to Ohio State and lose to that team up north. I just hate them. Just something about them. For the next 2 years, I promise you, I will not lose to them. I can't lose to them in the next 2 years. And I absolutely love it. If there is one person on this earth that can talk this way, it's Jeremiah Smith. It's number 4. I love his fuck you energy. I think it's something that sometimes Ohio State hasn't always. But he's just like a fuck you. You're an op. I don't like you. You're our rival. You know I don't. Yeah, he guaranteed the next 2 wins. We'll fucking see. Either you guys are gonna clown Ohio State forever for that comment, or it's gonna be one of those things like, God damn, that boy stood on his business. So we'll see. It's different with those Broward County boys down in South Florida, my guy. Like I said, anybody that's talking, if it's one of my favorite players that are talking, I'm glad it's number 4.
I'm glad he's got the enthusiasm and confidence. I really am. That's good though. I mean,
what does that make good. Michigan fans feel like? What are you guys clowning it?
I mean, Denzel Burch said the same thing, that they were going to win.
Did he really?
Michigan. Yeah, he said he was going to promise a win against Michigan, and he went 0-4.
When, this past year?
I don't know exactly the year he did this, but
Because if he said it this past year, that's fucking dumb. Like, yeah, obviously you're gonna beat Michigan, right? Right?
yeah,
Right?
he should have. But I mean, it's just words at this point. I mean, sometimes these words can bite you in the ass. Like, for example, Mike Hart calling Michigan State little brother, and then ultimately us like just shitting down our fucking pants against Michigan State. Yeah, I mean, it's just words. Like I'm glad there's like confidence and enthusiasm, and he wants to say that like they're gonna take it up to Michigan and they're not gonna lose to them. But there's that possibility. I mean, last year he only had 47 yards receiving against Michigan and only a touchdown.
Yeah, we decided not to get him the ball.
Yeah, that was it. That was the issue. I mean, it's something that like maybe Ohio State needs like I've said in the past, like Will Howard's gone. You got that that bark, the bark of the
fuck
dog,
you energy.
the fuck you energy. Give some motivation and some good morale to to your team and the players in the locker room. Like, is Jeremiah Smith stepping up to the leadership position, or is he just talking shit at this point? Because I mean, come November time when you got to go to the big house,
You better show out.
You better show up. You better show up, and you better show out. That's
I think
all I
today
say.
he must have had an interview or something today. But he was talking a little bit about Julian Sand. I don't know comments about Julian Sand, but he had really, really, really high praise for him. Basically said he's a phenomenal arm talent. He can get any throw out there. Basically said he's going to be an absolute dog. But an important note that he made was he's a little quiet. And he said, but that's kind of how I was too. Like whenever I came in as a freshman last year, like I was pretty quiet. I didn't really say much. So I think this is a little bit of him stepping into that leadership role. Like he has to step up. He has to be a leader on this football team. I mean, he's one of the best players in college football this year. Him and Caleb Downs, both sides of the ball. Those two need to be leaders. I don't necessarily like saying they're going to guarantee win the next 2 years, but like I said, if anybody in this face of this earth is going to I would like it. I would like it to be him.
Yeah, he is definitely the best player in CFB right now. Like, dude's a stud, man. Like he is definitely the best player in college football.
Freak of nature, like, just blessed by God. The second he came out of the womb.
Yeah, he's freaking awesome. I mean, yeah, the good confidence. I don't hope that, obviously, Ohio State beats Michigan. It's going to be a tough game next year. We got a battle of two unknown quarterbacks, especially one true freshman against Julian Sane, who's going to be the new leader of Ohio State, getting the ball down the field to Jeremiah Smith and crew and the wide receiver core. So, should be fun.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, this just adds a little cherry on top for the rivalry. It's definitely going to be talked about throughout the year. It's going to be talked about leading up to the game, and it's going to be talked about after the game, no matter what the result is.
Yeah, these things like I like. I like the banter. I like the small talk. Talking about like the your rival team. Just talking shit. That's what I love.
I like being honest and just being I fucking hate them.
Yeah,
I fucking hate Michigan.
I fucking hate
Ohio State. Yeah. I like that kind of shit. It's no secret to anybody. Like, everybody knows it. Both sides feel it. They legitimately cannot stand each other. That's just how it is.
Yeah, this is good. I mean, just like looking back in the days of like the 90s and stuff, like Charles Woodson completely obliterating fucking David Boston in 1997. Them two just getting the scuffle down on the field, like, just grabbing each other's face masks and shit. And then following years, you got other like heated, tense, rivalry moments between these like two programs that they've been doing this for over 100 fucking years.
Yeah.
So like there is blood boiling, and this is the kind of shit that if I'm playing for Michigan and I see this quote, I'm gonna look at this every fucking day.
You're hanging this up everywhere in the facility if you're
You're hanging
Michigan.
this stuff up.
You're hanging this up everywhere in the weight room, out on the practice field, in the locker room. You're hanging it up everywhere.
It's the same thing with like the in Woody Hayes in the facility where you have like back then when JJ was quarterback, you know he talked about like all we know is like beating Ohio State for like basically for Michigan, and you know Ohio State had this on a TV monitor that I'm sure the Ohio State players had to walk by every fucking day, and they have to look at this stuff. And I'm sure that
it's motivation.
Yeah, it's just a little motivational, like a motivational poster. Like remember those? Like it's something that just like wants you to improve yourself and make you a better person, especially out in the field, and make you a better football player. Like I want to beat these fucking guys.
It just keeps that like constant reminder in you, no matter what you do, like each and every second of everything that you do inside the facility, you're doing something to beat that other team. Yeah. And I think that whenever you hang quotes up like this, whenever you post scores of you getting beat the year before, like it's just a reminder of everything that you do, you go a little bit extra because you want to beat them. You study a little bit harder because you want to beat them. Just the little things that you're doing on a day in and day out basis, like you're doing those, you're giving it a little bit extra because you don't want to lose to that fucking team. Yeah. Metal, would you say this is the best spot? Now, when I say this, like all things considering, like both teams being the last two national champions, both teams recruiting at the level that they're doing, Michigan winning 4 in a row against Michigan, would you say this is the best spot the rivalry has ever been?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for the sake of the rivalry, the best spot,
or the best place it's ever been, with tensions and both teams being on top.
Just because like Ohio State won a national championship last year, I would say yeah. Like I know myself, like I wasn't pissed that Ohio State won a national championship. Of course, I don't want you guys to win a natty, but it's like,
I mean, I kind of felt like that was obviously the expectation. Like you guys had to have known going into the year, like that is a very possible outcome.
Like I knew this was going to happen, and I called this too, and like people can like receipt check me too. After the Tennessee game, or like midway through the Tennessee game, I said it that Ohio State's winning a national championship, just because just how they went out there and just absolutely dominated Tennessee. I think right now, like Ohio State coming off a natty win, Michigan having the season that they did, playing terrible but still beating.
They're coming off their own natty too, though.
Yeah, it's like for me, I'll say this, like so the 2024 season, it's like a mid-season, but like you have some success and then you had failures. If I'm gonna go 7 and fucking or 6 and 5, and I get to the game, and if I beat Ohio State, I'm like, okay, that's all I needed. That's all I fucking needed. Like if I was gonna play one game out of the year and I just beat Ohio State, like that's all I fucking need. Like
you go on to the bowl game and took care of Alabama too.
Yeah,
Michigan had a rough season, but the way they ended it gave you guys a lot of momentum going into this year, and you've used it as momentum, continued on the recruiting trail.
Right, like you beat the number 2 team with them being, Ohio State being a 23-point favorite, and then you go into the ReliaQuest Bowl, and then beat basically a starting team Alabama with Jalen Milroe Williams and whoever else on that team started that went into the draft. I mean, there's a lot of momentum like coming into this, and like now in the 2025 season coming around, you got 2 new starters for quarterbacks. You got Julian Sayin, Bryce Underwood. I mean, there is a lot of tension going on for this rivalry. Like Ohio State fans have the national championship, basically on their back, and they're riding or they're riding on the national championship, which you guys well deserved. I know that's me, a Michigan fan, saying that. Again, I'm neutral about this. Like Ohio State fans won that national championship. Not a fucking Mickey Mouse national championship. It's just they beat the shit out of everybody else. I mean, Notre Dame kind of gave them a run for the money for a little bit, and so did Texas, but they were clear deemed like just national championships like throughout this entire fucking playoff spot. Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And then then Michigan fans, we have the rivalry win against Ohio State, going winning 13-10. So it's like it's a win-win situation for both sides, kind of. You know what I mean? Like
for sure.
If I was in the opposing, like if I was a Ohio State fan and we won a national championship but lost to Michigan, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm like, all right, well, cool. Like talk out your shit, but still natty. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just
and that's all we can say. I mean, we accomplished the ultimate goal. Like, yeah, fucking nobody's gonna deny that it sucks losing to Michigan, but like, I think both teams were happy with how they ended the season. Clearly,
yeah, like Michigan beat all their rivals, and then Ohio State lost to their main rival, but still won the ultimate goal of winning a national championship. So like both teams kind of win. Both teams still have the momentum. And then going to 2025 season, like I said, you had this unknown, like who's going to be the quarterback, the competent quarterback going into the season and riding out and, basically making it to the playoffs. If Michigan, I will say this, if Michigan goes in the same route that it went last year and lost just as bad, going 6-5 into the game, and we beat Ohio State again, I will be a little bit depressed if we still had, if we don't have a postseason ban, let's just say that, right? Because it's like, all right, well, at this point, it's kind of like you're just having your cake and you're still eating your cake, but there's no desire out of it. Like, I'm getting everything I somewhat wanted, but I kind of want more. You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, like during that 4-year span or that 3-year span of like 2021, 22, and 23, like 21 and 22, like going to the college football playoff and getting absolutely smacked by Georgia. I'm like, okay, well, I felt good, like we beat Ohio State finally, since 2011. So I feel a little bit better. But going into 2022, beating Ohio State, and I'm like, okay, so we have to accomplish something here, right? Like, we can't just like be this team like, all right, so now we're beating Ohio State, but we need to do something else. We need to win a fucking bowl game and beat somebody else besides Ohio State and Penn State at this point. So, and then we lost to TCU, and the going into 23 season. And I'm like, this is it. Like, we have to fucking win a national championship. Like, this has to be it. And I think that, like, if we would have lost, let's say to Alabama, I would have been so fucking pissed.
Like, yeah, that was your chance.
Like, that was our chance. Like, I don't know if like when I'm gonna see that again. You know what I mean? And the same can be said like for Ohio State. Like last year, like you guys are basically all in at this point. Like this is the year that you guys are supposed to win a national championship.
Yep.
You have the star-stellar squad. You had a true freshman wide receiver come in, end up being the best wide receiver in college football that year. Will Howard coming in, and then you had Judkins coming in, Caleb Downs coming in. Like, come on. Like the expectations.
Say the $20 million thing, because they did put that money out there, and I just hate they spent the 20 mil. But the part that I hate about it is that people say that they bought the roster. They didn't buy the fucking roster. The roster was the roster the year before, with a few key guys that came in and helped, obviously. Made huge impacts. But yeah, they put $20 million to keep that team together. They put a few more $1 million to bring in really key pieces to their success and to their team. But yeah, last year was the year that they were going for. It was the year that they were trying to go ultimately accomplish the ultimate goal, and they did it. They did it, and they were all going for it. I just find it crazy, just from like, especially not so much Michigan, but Ohio State fans. Like they just get so like we've been very spoiled basically since Urban Meyer got into town. We're like we've been banging on the national championship door like a lot over the course of the past 10, 11 years, 12 years, however long it's been. We've been there. We've had teams that could have won it that didn't win it. It was getting very frustrating. But it's also like Ohio State only has, I think, 9 national championships in their existence. Michigan, I think, has 12. Like Ohio State's won 3 since 2000. Michigan's won 1. So like it's national championships are not easy to come by. No, and whenever you are in a position like 2023 Michigan, like you're in a position like 2024 Ohio State, like you got to capitalize. You got to win it while you're hot. You got to win it while you have all those pieces in place. Because when you don't have that shot there. And it's all about opportunities. You make the most of the opportunities. Either you make it happen or you don't make it happen. It's the same situation with anything in life. And both teams, 23 Michigan, 24 Ohio State, they stepped up to the plate and they got it done.
Yeah. The one thing I don't – so, like, about the college football run, like, I'll see, like, Ohio State fans, I'd say, like, this is the greatest, like, college football run in, like, history. Like, yeah, well, that's because, like, this is the first time they've ever
they just say that because they won the 12-team playoff and they went through the gauntlet they went through. I mean, it's not – the greatest national championship in history is one of the teams that went undefeated, obviously. They just say that because they went through they had to go through 4 postseason games. Their path was not easy, or at least, like, remember the day that they had the picks or the pick'em show, basically showing like everybody's seed and everything?
Yeah,
dude, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, dude,
I was like, fuck. Like, I did not think that they were going to beat Tennessee. And then the way they looked against, and then if they did beat Tennessee, I did not think they were going to beat. But the way they went out and how they performed against Tennessee and ultimately just kicked the living fuck out of them, I felt pretty confident going into that Oregon game. And I mean, they came out, beat the shit out of Tennessee, and I just think they kept that momentum going, obviously.
The Oregon game, like, surprised. I mean, I'm not the only one that got surprised at this. I'm pretty sure like 100% of Buckeye Nation felt this way too. It was just such a shock. Like, you just go out, you're fucking up, what, 31, 28 points?
34-0 was what it was.
34 points by halftime? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck, Dan Lanning?
Like, I thought after that Tennessee game, I really did think Ohio State would win, but I thought it was going to be like another wire-to-wire game. Like, if anybody said that they were predicting that, they're idiots, and they're just saying that. There's no way in hell anybody actually thought that.
No, I'm pretty sure everybody in the world thought that it was going to go like it was going to be a shootout, just like how it was in the
first time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you can't like just tell me like and just be dishonest to say like, oh yeah, I knew that we were going to blow them out. Like, come on.
Nobody thought that. Not a shot.
Like, you can't say, like, oh, I watched that fucking team that played Michigan was going to blow out fucking Oregon. And you're like, all right. Well, I know, like, college football or football itself isn't, like, transparative, like, properties or anything like that, or transitive properties. Like, it doesn't work that way, but you're like, what the fuck happened to this team? Like, why are they not living up to the standards that they've been going through all the year? And then they just literally just kick the shit in and just
well, even Jeremiah said today in that interview or whatever the fuck he was doing today, like he even noted like that Michigan loss probably propelled us to win it. And I think that is a fact. I don't know if Ohio State wins it if they go to Michigan.
Yeah. I can agree with that. It was basically a wake up moment for Ryan Day.
For sure.
And the entire
But no, I think roster. In my opinion, I don't know as much about the history of the rivalry. Obviously, everybody knows about the history of the rivalry. Like, they've hated each other forever and a day. But at least in my lifetime, this is the best spot the rivalry's ever been in, and I think that that's a fact. I think that that is very true. There's a strong argument that can be made for that, but Jeremiah's comments today is only going to make things better, and it's only just going to add a cherry on top for the rivalry, and I cannot wait for November 30th, 27th, whatever the day is for it. So before we transition into our next topic, I think this is a really good transition point. Metal and I have potentially some news that is going to be coming hopefully in the next couple weeks. Maybe a brand partnership that's coming. Just want to kind of hint at that. Really excited for it. Been talking to a company out there that I'm really looking to partner with and whatnot. Think it'll align well with our viewers, align well with just the community here of college football fans. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that. But to transition into our next topic, you talk about 2023 Michigan having everything in place, getting their roster back. You talk about 2024 Ohio State roster, getting all those guys back, being in a position to win the national championship. The 2025 Penn State Nittany Lions are kind of in a similar spot that Ohio State and Michigan have been in the past 2 years, taking the same route that both teams have taken, going with a very senior-led team, both running backs back, got the quarterback back. I think the whole offensive line is back. They brought in some talent on the edges on the receiver spot. Obviously, Penn State always has a really good defense. Brought in Jim Knowles, a proven defensive coordinator at the highest level. But the question is, if you're Penn State and you don't win the national championship this year, I mean, is it safe to say this is national championship or bust? Just how they're modeling themselves after Ohio State, how they're modeling themselves after Michigan. Is it safe to say that this is a national championship or bust type of season for Penn State? And is this a national championship or not bust for James Franklin?
Yeah, I mean you can't bring in Jim Knowles and have Drew Allers, Singleton, and all these other defensive weapons that you have on this team, and you can't not win a Big Ten championship, and you can't not just fall short of a national championship this year. Like it is a national championship or a bust at this point. Like if I was a Nittany Lion fan, my goal right now is to win a national championship. Like I want this. Like for how many years? For the almost 10 years that James Franklin has been a part of, Penn State. Like
been consistently good.
Yeah, they've been consistent. Like they've always been like just a contender. And that it's just unfortunate for them that they've had to play, Ohio State and Michigan in their schedule because they were in the Big Ten East. During the split conference that we had before the super conference of the Big Ten, adding the Pac-12 teams. So like they have to win something this year. Like would it be a step up for them to win a Big Ten championship?
Yes, but I think there would be a lot of Penn State fans that are not completely satisfied if that's all they win.
Would it be a step up if they beat Ohio State?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I mean, Ohio State's been James Franklin's kryptonite. I mean, his entire career, other than the 1 year that we talked about earlier where they blocked the field goal and returned it for a touchdown back in 2016.
So let's say if they beat Ohio State and then they beat Oregon and they win a Big Ten championship, do you think would you think that Penn State fans will be satisfied at this point? Like you're in the move to the right direction,
Yeah. So I see this kind of two ways. Like I think yes, they would be pretty satisfied with beating Ohio State. I think they'd be very satisfied with winning a Big Ten championship. But I think there would be kind of some bad taste in their mouth if they didn't complete the job. Like, yes, you took the step up and you beat Ohio State. Yes, you took the step and you won the Big Ten. But it's kind of the same situation Michigan was in. It's kind of the same situation Ohio State's in right now. Like, you had a lot of guys that are going to be walking out the door next year. Like, basically all the guys we just named. Aller's gone. Allen's gone. Singleton's gone. I assume their O-line that has a lot returning, they're going to lose at least a few pieces off of that. I'm sure they're going to lose a few pieces on the defense. So I think they would be satisfied. But kind of what we were talking about with 23 Michigan and 24 Ohio State. Like they have the same mindset. This is the year. This is the year we have everything in place. We brought in a defensive coordinator. We got all our guys back. We hit the portal a little bit. I think this is their year. Like this is the year they got to take that step. And if they beat Ohio State, they win the Big Ten championship. I think that they are satisfied, but there's just a really bad taste in their mouth that they didn't complete the job. Especially because if you look around the Big Ten, like a lot of the better teams out there are kind of reloading in a sense. Like Michigan has a true freshman quarterback. Ohio State had some guys leave off of that national championship team. Oregon had a lot of guys leave that were huge parts of their team. So they look around the Big Ten right now, and they're by far the most experienced team. They're by far probably the most talented team as well. And I think this is their year. I think that, yeah, they'll be happy if both of those scenarios happen, but there will be a bad taste in Penn State fans' mouths if they don't ultimately win the national championship, because they kind of have been right there banging on the door. Like James Franklin said, we've been consistently a top 5 team, and that's hard to do. That is really hard to do. But at the same point, fans expect you to take that next step. They expect it. And at some point, you have to do it. And if it's not this year, then when is it?
You know, this year, like, I'm looking at their schedule right now. Like the first 3 games they played Nevada, Florida International, Villanova, and then their 4th game they play Oregon, which is a night game. Then UCLA, Northwestern, at Iowa, at Ohio State, Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska, and Rutgers. I mean, if they can pull this off and not lose a single game, I mean, let's say they lose to Oregon or just like one game Ohio State. I mean, they quite possibly they can definitely win the national championship, and they need to. They need to.
I think that stretch at Iowa, at Ohio State, and then hosting at Indiana, that's probably the toughest stretch of their schedule. Just because, I mean, they're going to beat Iowa. Like, they'll definitely beat Iowa. But I could see that being a night game. Hopefully Fox doesn't do the whole fucking Fox thing and put that at noon. Hopefully they don't do it for the Ohio State game either, but I'm sure one of those 2 games will be. But that's probably the toughest 3-game stretch for them. But a big thing to note. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with the Oregon game. I think, like, Oregon-Ohio State, they'll probably split one of those 2. But if you look at that Ohio State game, they have a bye week leading up to that game.
Oh,
They've got an opportunity to get healthy and have a little bit more time to study Ohio State and really dig into their film. So that really, the Big Ten did them a favor there, making that game a bye week, or coming up to a bye week afterwards. Then obviously you host Indiana after. I mean, they're going to beat Indiana, especially with it being in Happy Valley and whatnot. But Curt Cignetti has proven he'll have a gritty bunch. He'll have his guy. He'll have a competitive team. I think. Who knows how they'll be. But that 3-game stretch at Iowa, at Ohio State, and then Indiana, I think those are the 3 that are going to be kind of their toughest stretch of their schedule.
Yeah, it's definitely natty or bust at this point. Like if you don't beat Ohio State, if you don't beat Oregon, yeah, you're at this point. It's like, all right, natty or bust. But
even if you
schedule. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like looking at these schedules, like when we were looking at the Miami schedule, and I was just like, God damn it, I miss college football. I was like,
yeah,
I'm
I know.
So stoked, like just to watch like Miami, Florida State, like.
Yeah. Life's a lot better whenever college football's on. But it still comes back up to the same point we've talked about many times before. Like, who else other than James Franklin? Like, who else are you going to get?
Nobody.
Like, let's say they don't win the national championship. Let's say they don't win the Big Ten championship. Like, that fan base is going to be fit to be tied. Like, fucking furious. But you're not going to move off James Franklin. Look at all the other schools that have moved off their coach. I mean, I know Alabama, Nick Saban retired, but you saw like a mass exodus of players whenever you go and hire a guy from outside. Like there's going to be guys that hit the portal. Like, do you fire him and risk that happening? Or do you continue to build with him and tweak things here and there and just say, well, fuck, like that was our chance? I don't know. They may never, it may be a while before they get back in this same chance or this same situation that they're in today.
That's kind of like just like Notre Dame continuously like just making like the playoffs and just not making it to, or not winning the national championship, and you just fire Marcus Freeman. Like, why?
Like, yeah, which I don't think Notre Dame would do that anytime soon. I think they are very happy with Marcus Freeman at this point.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
Like, but like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, you're there. You're just like small chess pieces away from getting to that point of just winning a natty. Like, it just takes time. Like,
yeah,
Clemson with Dabo Swinney, like he didn't fucking win a national championship like in the first season. Like, it took him time to develop and get the players that he needed. And besides, like, all the other people that want to say about the sign stealing scandal, all that yada yada, shut the fuck up. Like, just about like Jim Harbaugh. Like, I knew
Jim Harbaugh, it took him some time to get over the hump too.
It took him some time. Like, I was.
So did Kirby Smart. So did Ryan Day. Like, it takes guys some time to get there.
Like, all it is, like, it's gonna be your year. At some point, you're gonna have your time, and you just have to capitalize off that stuff, and you just have to get the players that you need to get, and maybe possibly in the 2025 season, this could be James Franklin's year, in which it's the most promising year because, Ohio State is losing, like you said earlier, like the most of its like roster to the NFL draft, and also most of its coaching staff. With Chip Kelly going to the Raiders, and then Jim Knowles going to Penn State.
Lost their O-line coach.
Yeah, O-line coach as well. So, like, now it's Penn State's time just to take the reins of the Big Ten and possibly the college football.
They might not be in a better situation, kind of what I was saying earlier, like with the rest of the powerhouses in the Big Ten kind of being down a little bit this year. Not down, but they just, like, what you're going to get a lot more from Penn State than you do everybody else in the Big Ten. Like, those other teams still could be really good this year. We just don't know. But, like, we know what Penn State has. We've seen these guys perform, and they've went in and they've made some moves. They've changed some things. They're not just rolling out exactly what they did last year. They got the experience back, and they've adjusted a little bit. So this is their year. It's time to make something happen. But it's kind of one of those things. If it doesn't happen, like, you're probably going to be frustrated as fuck if you're a Penn State fan, because, again, it's like, if not now, when? Like, it's going to be probably a few more years before you get back to a situation like this. Like, you might have some talented teams and be really good in the coming years, but with all the experience and everything we just mentioned, like, this is the best spot that they've been probably in James, probably by far in James Franklin's tenure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, college football, I want it to come back. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fucking awesome. We have just a few more weeks, and this is the last month of no football. So they do have the Hall of Fame game, I think, this month, but fuck that. That's not that fun to watch. But this is the last month without real football, and I am ready for it.
I thought it was the first week of August that the Hall of Fame game.
I thought I heard somewhere. I could be wrong too. I don't know if it maybe is like literally the last day of the month or something when the Hall of Fame game is, but I thought I heard somebody say that the Hall of Fame game was this month, but I could be wrong too.
It's the Bears versus the Texans on Thursday, August 1st. Wait.
Okay, so it is technically August. So no football this month. I apologize. I misspoke.
Wait, hold on a second. No, the first is a Friday.
So that would be July 31st then, probably.
No, it's the... Hold on. It's...
I think the Hall of Fame game is always on a Thursday, right?
It is. It's the 31st. Yeah. July 31st.
So we do get a little bit of football.
Lions and Chargers. fucking stupid.
Will you bet on that game?
Bet on it?
Yeah.
Can you bet on that game?
Oh, fuck yeah, you can.
I don't know if I would want to bet on that game because it's like basically just a toss in the air because you're not going to really have like any starters playing.
Right. I didn't know how
It
much
might
of a
be fun.
degenerate gambler you were. I am not, but I know some people that love football and love gambling. They definitely do.
If my dad is listening right now, he would probably bet on it because he is a degenerate gambler. So,
That's the type of game you just take whoever the underdog is and hope you get lucky. You just take the plus odds.
just bet the under on everything. Like
I'm gonna see if they have. I'm gonna see if they have
an odds
line posted for that yet.
Hall of Fame game line. Oh, they do.
Do they really?
The betting odds are
Not
0.
UFL. It's what?
0.
Yeah. I see the Lion. My app showing Lions -1 with an over under of 32.5. I might just take. You might not me, but I would probably just take that under. It'll probably be like 13-10.
Let's see, like in the prior years, like just like past like statistics. So 21-17.
Usually really low scoring.
Shit, that's over.
Well, that would go. Both those scores would go over.
14-10. So Browns 21.
Do you gamble on college football and NFL a lot?
I'm more of a degenerate on NFL than I am
NFL
college football. Like I'll do like individual stats, like yards,
player props and shit.
Yeah, like player props. I try.
When we get to the fall, we should have like a little segment of like just different lines and shit we like for the week.
Oh, we could. Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. But like college, like I think college is easier to win like parlays, but the problem is like the odds. Like if you're like Alabama fucking playing like Morehead State or Robert Morris or whatever fucking stupid school they play at the end, the favor is like obviously like Alabama like minus 10,000, and it like completely fucks up your parlay. I'm more of like NFL because NFL at least like it's like either gonna be like minus 150 or like plus 150 or.
Well, it's kind of like what we talked about last week, like just college football against the NFL, where it's like any given Sunday, you just never know.
Yeah, I've been fucked way too many times. I remember one time I had a 9-leg parlay. I think my payout was like at least like $4,000, and
get fucked by one leg.
I got fucked by Josh Allen against the Chiefs, and no, it was not Josh Allen. It was the Chiefs fucked me so hard. I was like, God damn it.
The funny part is anybody that gambles, like we all have a story like that.
Yeah. It's like degeneracy. Like, what is fun gambling though? Not actually. I wouldn't say fun. Like playoff, like NBA playoff is like really fun to gamble, but like regular season, I fucking hate gambling on NBA. Like especially
I don't gamble on the NBA at all.
Like for prop points, because some of these players like will just get pulled like fourth quarter and not even fucking play.
Yeah. Or just get hurt and just be like, I'm not fucking going back in.
Oh yeah. I know I saw someone like speaking of like March Madness and stuff, like that's really fun to gamble on because of like just like the amount of upsets that you can get, especially like for like line favors. And you can win like a shit ton of money. Yeah.
Not this past year. It was pretty chalk this past year, but yeah, historically you could bet a lot of underdogs and make some money. The craziest probably parlay story I have is I think I had, so it was 2 years ago. I think it was a game that Harbaugh was suspended for against Penn State. I think it was a game that Sharon Moore cried afterwards.
Yep, remember that.
But I had a parlay of Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown. I think we played Michigan State that night. And then Travion Henderson touchdown, parlayed with Michigan 24 and Penn State 16. So The final was 24-15. But James Franklin, this motherfucker on the screen, fucked me so hard. So they scored right at the end with like 2 minutes left. And they tried, like, Penn State tried to go for 2.
Yeah.
Which was dumb as fuck because, like, that's never the right decision. Like, you always just kick the extra point to try to, like, ensure that it's still a 1-possession game. Because if you go for 2 and don't get it, you're down 9 points and you're fucked. Like, the game's over with right there. You always try to prolong the game. And, dude, I think I put, like, $5 on this to win, like, 5 or 6 grand. And as soon as Penn State scored, dude, I started running around my house, fucking screaming, going nuts. And then I look up on the screen, and this stupid motherfucker's holding up 2. And I started like crashing the fuck out.
Like,
just going nuts. Screaming, "You stupid motherfucker." Just going absolutely nuts. But, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's
if it's 24-15, you're down 9. There's 2 minutes left. You don't go for 2 then. If you don't get it, the game's over already. Like, you kick the extra point and you try to make the game longer.
I just don't. Sometimes, like, my dad has a horseshoe up his ass, and so does my father-in-law. Like, my father-in-law will go to, like, in Illinois, like, restaurants have, like, game machines, like slots, and we'll just be, like, sitting there, and he'll leave for, like, he'll be like, all right, I'll be right back, and then he'll leave, and like 5 minutes later he'll come back with like a $1,500 ticket, and I'm like, what
You
the
motherfucker.
fuck? Like, it happens every single time, and like my dad will like text me in this group chat, like, so I just won this the 7-leg parlay or like this 3-leg parlay, and like it'd be like over like $1,500 or something like that. And I'm like, dude,
Why
where
can't
the
that ever
fuck do I
happen to
get
me?
this luck? I know. I'm like, why?
I'm convinced that it's just set up for me not to win anything like that because I might, like, the world might be fucked.
Yeah,
Like, I would go so fucking crazy, just get absolutely belligerently drunk and probably fuck shit up. Like, I've been fucked so many times, basically by the scenario I just told you that was just the worst time. And I'm just convinced I'm never going to win a bet like that because the world might end. It might be that fucked.
There's something in like the time continuance where like something is gonna hit, and then all of a sudden like these two atoms are gonna fuse, and then like a nuclear bomb where like the world just explodes.
And everything ends.
That was it.
Ugh.
Like, it wasn't supposed to happen like that. Like, you're supposed to fucking lose. Like, you are supposed to lose. It's just like in 2020 when like the crypto rage was going on, and like I know my dad texted me about like Dogecoin, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta invest in this," and I'm like, "All right, yeah, I'll do that." And I bought like 1.4 million in just like coins, and at the time it was like maybe $1,000
less than a penny.
Yeah, well, it was at like 0.0008, and then when the surge happened in 2021, like April, when like the everything in crypto just started to skyrocket.
Did you already get out of it?
I sold it at 5 cents, and I got like maybe like I think I got like maybe like $6,000 or $7,000 out of it. But then,
I mean, still,
I was like,
didn't it go to like 9 cents though?
No, it went to fucking 75 cents. It went to 75.
Did it oh my god!
I wanted to fucking kill. No, I'm not gonna say that, but I was so fucking pissed.
Oh my god,
like,
that's disgusting.
I was like, yeah. I'm just like kind of just thinking about like my life choices. I'm like, why did I do that? Like, I would have had like $1.2 million at that
Jesus
point.
Christ.
Like, fuck, dude. And then like you just like look at all these people that are, like just get rich off that stuff. I'm like, fuck you. I hate you.
Why not me?
Like, why not?
What would you do with 1.2 million?
Definitely pay off all my debt. I would probably start like a business and invest.
So you're smart.
Yeah.
There's some idiots out there that would spend it like just buy like a bunch of cars and shit that just loses value.
Let me buy a Bugatti.
Yeah, just be fucking morons.
What would you do with 1.2 million?
I would exactly what you said, pay off all my debt right away and then invest it, whether that's like stocks, real estate. Like I'd put it in somewhere that would make me money over time.
Do you remember
and then just continue to live my normal life and just that shit fucking build up, and then in like 10, 15 years just retire and be like, well, fuck this. I'm retiring, I'm sitting on some fucking bags and I'm just gonna chill.
I'll definitely buy some crypto, like some Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean anything, everything. Get into the stock market, all that type of shit.
Yeah, it's just disheartening. Like
real estate would be awesome. You make some good money in that, but there's a lot of fucking headaches that come with it, like stocks and crypto and that shit. You just fucking put it in and you don't do anything. You just give it time.
Yeah, basically just like if you're like buying a place or anything like that, like just buy a bunch of places and put that shit on Airbnb.
Yeah. Because you can get people to like run that shit for you, but there's still like that, like you're responsible for a lot.
Dude, if you get like management companies, like they'll run it for you, but those are the fucking worst people in the world. I hate
right, and
companies.
Then like still any shit that goes wrong is still your problem.
Yeah, it's true. You're like
but
fuck.
I mean, maybe someday if I become a millionaire, I think real estate is. I mean, all the rich people in the world, that's what they're in.
And my wife is trying to get in real estate, so as a side thing.
Hey, maybe you'd be living big here soon. Maybe her real estate company in the middle ground, you guys could retire here in the next couple of years.
I know, right? Or maybe the middle ground can kick off if everybody, like likes and subscribe and like gives us a shout out saying that, we're the best damn podcast in the world. I wasn't going to say in the land.
In the land.
I wasn't going to say the land. I was like, shit, don't say that.
Can't do that. You walked right into that one.
I know, I walked right into it. But yeah, maybe the middle ground. Maybe.
Hell yeah.
The middle ground.
The middle ground.
This has been a good episode. I've been going.
Yeah, it has.
For 2 showers now. It's been going pretty well.
Yeah, right up around 350 views on X. I'm not sure what YouTube's looking like, but I think if we had a lot of technical difficulties before this one. If we would have gotten on at like 8:30, like we initially said, like we got on like an hour and a half, I think we would have probably got a lot more viewers, but oh well.
Yeah, less.
By the time we started, it's a little late, but fuck it. Another episode down.
Another one down.
This is number 6, right?
Yeah, 6.
They always say the hardest part with podcasts is just getting past episode 1, and here we are 6 episodes later.
So for next week, I will not be here. I will be on vacation.
Metal will not be here, so I'm going to try to figure something out. Might have somebody try to come on the show, or might try to get somebody to come on here with me. But if not, I'll probably just go solo. But I'll reach out to some people out in the X world and see if they want to hop on here with me. Maybe just record one segment and have the rest be me just talking about random shit and have basically like an interview or something like that on here. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be me and potentially somebody else, but Metal saying fuck the middle ground next week.
Fuck podcasts, yeah.
Fuck the middle ground.
Do you have any prospects in mind? Or
I was kind of jokingly, I had posted something today about listening to podcasts and sped up versions, which that is a hack. Whenever I go back and listen to these episodes, I always turn it up a little bit. I think it sounds better, and it obviously doesn't take near as long whenever you speed it up. Yeah. But there was a pretty big Bengals and Twitter or Reds, especially Reds account, Mr. Red Day on Twitter. I mentioned something to him. He asked me what I all listened to. Told him some shows that I listened to, and then I basically said I just started a podcast, and it was like, yeah, if you ever want to hop on and like talk about the Reds or talk about some shit, like let me know, and I'd be down to do that. And he was like, yeah, I might actually take you up on that offer. So I don't know. Maybe I'll reach out to him. Maybe I'll reach out to somebody else out there in the college football world and just see what's kicking, see what people are at, and go from there.
Oh yeah, dude. Find a replacement.
We gotta find a backup.
No, it should be good though. I'll enjoy burning myself out there in the sun while I'm in Wisconsin Dells.
Yeah, you'll have a lot more fun than me. I've got some vacations coming up too in the next couple of weeks,
Ooh.
but I think a lot of those will be like midweek into the weekend. So I think I'll still be able to try to squeeze it in at the beginning of the week, but may have to have you take a show solo too.
Ooh, we'll do that.
I think the last week of July, the last 2 weeks of July, and then that last week goes into August, obviously. And then mid-August, I'm going somewhere. So go down to Georgia first, and then go down to Norris Lake, and then I go up to New York, up by the Finger Lakes in mid-August. So I'm gonna be busier than fuck. I think 3 out of 4 weeks I'm going somewhere.
Fuck, dude.
I need it though. I've only used one vacation day up until this point, so I'm stoked.
Seriously, damn.
Yeah, dude. I've only taken one day off, and it was a Friday before Memorial Day. And that day, I think that was whenever right before the first episode, and I think you and I met that day and kind of got everything situated here.
Well, taking time off is obviously good. It's good for the soul. It's good for you.
Yeah, and I got vacation days to burn. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but we'll figure it out.
You should take a trip out to Chicago.
I could do that. Could try to definitely do that. We'll see.
Only a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, it's probably not too bad, honestly.
Do it.
All right, you want to get on out of here, Metal?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Alrighty, my guy. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Another good night on the X app. I'm really liking these live shows and whatnot. If you could like, subscribe, retweet, everything that supports us, we'd greatly appreciate it. Aside from that, another good episode. Episode 6 complete. Middle Ground out.